Hello, hello Aquarius. Welcome to your 2019 overview reading. This is good for you if you're a sun, moon, or rising Aquarius. And if you are new to my channel, hello and welcome. And I also want to clarify, because there has been some confusion about my readings. For the record, I am not an astrologer. So I just want to make that really clear so that nobody is confused. I'm not an astrologer. And I also want you to know that the work that I do, I'm an intuitive counselor, and so my work is really geared towards taking good care of yourself, your well-being, mindfulness, being intentional, manifestation, things like that, things that are more energetic, because intuitive counseling is what I do. And I also want to let you guys know that 2019 love and romance readings are now available. They're all sign specific, and the link will be available for you in the description box if you want to check that out. All of that work is on Patreon. It's hours of content that's available to you. So that will be good for your sun, moon, rising, Mars, and Venus. You are also welcome to cross-watch those if you're interested. And let's go ahead and get started. What's in store for Aquarius in 2019? For today, I acknowledge my accomplishments. Is there anything that you've really been just kind of brushing off, like you haven't really been accomplishing as much as you have? That's kind of what this is about, is you may have been downplaying a lot of things that you've been successful at this year or this past year. And so in 2019, you want to flip the script with that and instead focus on what you have accomplished. Give yourself a pat on the back and, you know, give back to yourself. And then we also have Armadillo, so it seems like there's a little bit of armor up. There's definitely some... This is like having extra firm boundaries, having extra potent limitations for yourself and others. That's how I would put it, is not letting yourself run amok and also not letting other people cross your boundaries, because that is kind of one of the things with Aquarians, is that it does seem to be a lot harder for Aquarians to have boundaries, unless you have really good Saturn placements and stuff like that. So it just is one of those things that I have found. And if that resonates with you, then it's kind of like you want to put together a game plan on how you can have boundaries for yourself and, you know, to make that work for you this year. The botanical card for you is preserve. Preserve your energy, preserve your resources. This is going to be a really great time to put together a budget for yourself. It's going to be a great time to kind of savor all the things that have been working for you. And like saving is going to be important. This is actually coming up as a financial card, ironically enough. Like, what are you communicating with your resources and how you're spending? And then the angel card for you is sisterhood and brotherhood. Who are you feeling close to? This is also putting an emphasis on family. And like, who do you consider your sisters and brothers? Because it's not, I mean, if you're an only child, obviously this still applies to you. So who are you in sisterhood or brotherhood with? Where, you know, is that camaraderie really coming from? And just think about the ways that you can really use those connections to your benefit, because it's kind of like when you have that level of intimacy with somebody, whether they're blood related or not, it's something that can really support you in a lot of ways and vice versa. Like, it's someone to lean on, someone to experience interdependency with, someone to collaborate with. And so there's a lot more to it than just family values. Let's see what the central energy is for you in 2019. We have the King of Cups, Emotional stability is the name of the game. I think that you're kind of like riding out the last few waves emotionally. It doesn't mean that you're not going to have super great days and super bad days sometimes. You know, that's a part of the human experience. And this instead is just showing that some of that is smoothing out. Some of it is becoming more stable. And so this actually looks like you have a lot of clarity around your emotions, and that's something that you're going to see continue to develop over 2019. Now this is a mind, body, spirit reading, so mind, body, spirit, and let's start with mind. So we have the 9 of Pentacles. It's funny, this is very similar to the acknowledging your accomplishments. It's like enjoying the fruits of your labor. Like if you've been doing a lot of work, if you have been working on yourself, if you've been pouring a lot of energy into projects, like let yourself enjoy it. It's not something where I will tell you that one of the worst things that you can do in 2019 is be hard on yourself every step of the way. Loosen up on that a little bit. Try to figure out a way to be more kind and compassionate with yourself and to enjoy what you can when you can, and that is going to actually make you a magnet for more. So don't forget that it's like what you believe is what manifests. So just use this to your advantage, because it's like all the abundance, all the goodness, all that stuff is going to come from enjoyment and being strategic and mindful about like when you're engaging in pleasure, when you are really celebrating your accomplishments. And then the body card, so this is your physical well-being. We have the 8 of Rods. Watch your speed on this, because it's kind of like there could be a lot happening where it's like, yeah, you're doing well, but then there might be some signs to slow down, because you can see this, there's a yellow light right there. And that was the thing that jumped out at me about this card for you guys, which is like, okay, but maybe chill out. So maybe slow down, maybe relax for a little while, because this is something that can kind of get you into hot water if you're not careful. And I would just, you know, recommend that you take your time, maybe slow down just a smidge. And that's the advice that's coming here, because one of the things that I bring up is you don't want to like bite off more than you can chew. You want something that's sustainable, that you can keep going for an extended period. I'm going to clarify this card as well. Ace of Cups, give to yourself. You really have to make an effort to give to yourself actively. Be conscious of what's depleting you, what's energizing you, and to do more of the things that make you feel good. And that includes relationships of all kinds, even like with doctors. Like, you don't want to go to a doctor that makes you feel uncomfortable or afraid or, you know, wrong. You want to go to a doctor that makes you feel supported, that makes you feel loved, that makes you feel like you're being taken care of. And so keep that in mind. Anything under the well-being umbrella, focus on giving to yourself and taking really good care of your physical body in 2019. I think this is really important for you guys. And then Spirit, the Star, I think that this is going to be a really nice year of flow, like just things going easy. Like that really is what this looks like to me. Just the way that things are kind of unfolding, it looks like you're really seeing the big picture of what's going on. And it might take a few months for you to really see, but remember, when you get sucked into like this bad thing right here, right now, what you want to do to kind of snap yourself out of it is zoom out a little bit, or look at things that have happened in the past to, you know, kind of like the way things panned out. And so it's like, look at how the trajectory of things in the past have really helped you and how things have worked out for you, rather than, you know, like the temporary thing that's happening. And so faith is going to be big. You know, this is the spirit section. So it's like things are really working out. But if you don't have faith in anything other than your feelings, then you're in hot water, because you don't want to over-identify with feelings. And sometimes Aquarians can do that. Like, they over-identify with the feelings even though they may not be expressing them. And so that's what you have to look out for, because it's like your feelings are temporary. The other things might be a little bit more permanent, a little bit more tangible for you to work with. So that's what the star is reminding you of, is like, hey, if you're over-identifying with emotions, you're going to have to get back to your faith big time, whatever that is. Now we're going to go to advice for you in 2019. The Four of Rods, create a home for yourself. I think that your physical environment, your physical space is going to be the most important asset for you. Create a home for yourself. What does that you know, what does that mean for you? Like with the Four of Rods, thinking about where you rest your head at night, where you feel most comfortable, like what exactly are you needing more of? And this is going to be a great place to put your energy, because it seems like it's gonna help with a lot of the other stuff, and enjoying yourself, celebrating your accomplishments, getting back to faith and self-care. Like those are all elements that's just going to really have a widespread impact on all these other areas of your life. So go back to basics this year. When in doubt, go back to basics. Celebrate the small wins. Nest for yourself, you know, create a nice home and hearth for yourself. Slow down, take good care of your body, you know, pick up a spiritual practice that kind of puts more emphasis on your faith and belief system this year. Those are all going to be significantly advantageous for you this year. And what you need to know about 2019 is the Empress. I need to clarify this, because it's like, okay, I'm seeing half. What's the other piece? The Tower. Okay. There will be things coming up in 2019 that do not work, that do not fit, that are not a good way for you to pour energy into. Your responsibility to yourself is to recognize what's not a good investment and what is. So that's where it's like, this is about giving to yourself. It's similar to the Ace of Cups in that way, where it's very focused on nourishment and self-care. The Empress is really gifted at that, you know, that's what she models for us all. The Empress is also really, the Empress knows how to embody like ease, like just allowing things to come and go as they want without expectation on the outcome. And so this is kind of like, you might be in a place where you want to overgive or something, but the best thing for you to do is kind of pull that back, give it to yourself, slow down with that. And if something really does not feel right or doesn't feel good, you have to be the one to make the decision to get rid of it. Stop waiting for some sign or some good reason to get rid of things that are really not good for you. So it's just kind of like, there's never gonna be an ideal time when you're perfectly comfortable and everything is working out exactly the way you want. You're never gonna feel 100% ready to let go of things that are comfortable for you, even if they're causing you detriment. So it's like you kind of have to take back the power for yourself. Where things get easier, the more you prioritize yourself and the more you say no to the right things. Because otherwise it's like, Do you want to hold on to the gangrenous parts of your life? Do you want to hold on to toxicity? Do you want to hold on to bad things? Because if you do, more power to you. But don't get frustrated when there's so many things that are within your control that you're not eliminating. This looks really good, but it's kind of like divine source is not going to fool around with you this year. It's your year is either going to go really smoothly or it's not, and it's going to be really hard because the lessons are going to become more challenging the more you ignore them. If you listen to when something isn't right and you're paying attention to that and you nip it immediately, then you're going to be rewarded. But if you want to drag things out, then, I mean, more power to you. Okay, so fair warning in 2019, don't fool around because it's like this is not, it's not going to work well for you. And then let's get into the timeline. So if you are unfamiliar, these are broken down into quarters over the course of a year. What does that come out to? It comes out to 3 months. So this will be January to March of 2019. First thing, we have strength, perseverance, personal power. Don't expect things to just get taken care of for you. That's true on all fronts. Don't expect other people to be the ones who are advocating for you. You have to advocate for yourself. Don't expect some miraculous solutions. Sometimes you have to take the power back yourself. Don't expect, you know, things to just resolve themselves. Sometimes you have to pull your energy away and put it into the areas that you want to see grow, evolve, and change. So it's all about reclaiming your power and your strength. In the beginning of the year, you kind of have to take it back for yourself and make that decision. Quarter 2. 7 of Wands. Look at all the challenges that you're overcoming. It's kind of like, I'm just going to say it. If you don't listen to what I'm saying, then you can, it's kind of like what I was saying with the Tower. The situation that you're experiencing, the discomfort that you're experiencing will persist. Because that's the whole thing. If you don't change anything that you're doing, if you make no modifications, you can't expect anything different. If you want a radical change, you have to radically act. And the 7 of Wands is proof of that. It's kind of showing you now, it's giving you a glimpse of like, hey, look, you could get out of the weeds. You could totally like erase all of these negative things that you want. You could clean everything up and be ascending quickly. Like there could be a lot to celebrate. There could be a lot of good things. You could have a ton of self-care. You could be a magnet for healthy opportunities, healthy relationships, plenty of abundance. Like that is on the table for you in 2019, and it's conditional. Quarter 3, we have the 8 of Swords, and this is where it's kind of like, this is where it begs the question, are you going to bind yourself to negative expectations or limiting beliefs that you can't do any better, or, you know, you're going to have to settle for a crappy partner because there are no good partners available? Are you going to restrain yourself from taking risks out of fear, you know, fear of the unknown, fear of things being better? I mean, that's like a big question. Let me see what the 4th quarter is. So the end of 2019, we have the 10 of Swords. I'll clarify this for you guys. I know that a lot of people are afraid of the 10 of Swords. So you guys know that I don't read like that. No, the 10 of Swords is not about catastrophe. The 10 of Swords is about release, letting go of the Tower, for example. You have to be the one to make that decision. And then to clarify, we have Death. Yes. So 2019, at the end of the day, is going to bring a radical rebirth, and it's found in giving to yourself. It's found in your personal power and completely transforming the way you're doing things. The Death card is just showing all of those things that you want to evaporate can melt away, but it's based on how much you are giving the situation. It's entirely dependent on how much you are Like how much are you working on yourself? You're going to stay in the same place if you're just running on autopilot. Okay, so now we're going to do a 3-card pick. So you can ask a specific question. These are oracle cards, just for the record. You can pick as few or as many cards as you'd like. And card number 1, we have Chakra Love. Okay, so whenever I see this card, it is one of those things where it's like you want to take really good care of your energetic body. If you guys don't know, intuitive counseling, that's the energetic work that I do. So that's when I tune up your chakra system and everything like that. So it's kind of like if you, and it doesn't have to be me, but whatever practitioner you like to work with, that's going to be one of the things that you can invest in to help your situations, it's just going to give extra support to that area, to your energetic body, and that's going to help a lot of other things that you're working on as well. So I would say, either work with a practitioner that you like that works with chakra systems, or it's going to be a great time for you to meditate, do some energetic work that you enjoy. Card number 2, we have Feeling and Form. So meditation and manifestation kind of going hand in hand here. What you focus on becomes bigger. What you take action on manifests. What you are calling into your space actively is the thing that's going to take form. So it might start with a feeling or thought and then grow into something more. So be intentional with this, and that's how you can support yourself the best. And card number 3, we have Fear. Are you being driven by fear? Are you limiting yourself by just expecting the worst, or assuming that, good things aren't on the other side, so you would rather not take action or challenge your fear? And I understand it's kind of like it's trying to protect you, but remember that it's also an illusion. If you couldn't lose, if you knew that nothing bad would happen, what action would you take? And that's your answer. Like, that's the thing that you need to do, because fear is only going to hold you back. I mean, maybe thousands of years ago, this was really, really helpful, but we don't have as many of those things to be worried about. So our brain creates things to worry about. So you just want to make sure that you're recognizing fear, but not feeding into it. Like, you can say, wow, okay, I see you, I hear you loud and clear. Thank you for trying to protect me, and I'm going to challenge it anyway and see how this goes. All right, my friends, this was quite an intense reading, so it's going to be a big year for you. Just remember to take really good care of yourself and to give back to yourself this year. And until next time, don't forget, if you want 2019 love and relationship readings, they're all on Patreon. The link is in the description box. All the cards that I've used today are in the description box. Thank you for liking, sharing, subscribing. Special shout out to those of you who work with me one-on-one. I appreciate you guys more than you know. And until next time, have a beautiful 2019. I wish you all the best, and I will talk to you later. Bye-bye.